All right, so we've been to the parties, right? We've seen the spectacle, but what about the man throwing them? Jay Gatsby. He's basically a ghost at his own feast. So, who is this guy? Well, in this chapter, we finally start to peel back the layers. And let me tell you, the answers we get just lead to even bigger, more fascinating questions. So, get this. At his own parties, people are just making stuff up about him. The stories are wild. They say he's a bootlegger, a German spy, maybe even a relative of some big shot general. It's like the less people actually know about him, the crazier the rumors get. They're just filling in the blanks where a real person should be. Okay, so let's talk about this rumor mill. To really show you just how big a deal these parties were, our narrator, Nick, actually sits down and makes a list of all the guests from that summer. It's his way of saying, look at the sheer scale of this thing. Look at everyone who showed up. And the names on this list, they are just fantastic. They're not just names, they're like little stories in themselves. You've got entire families like the Black Bucks. You've got the tragic-sounding Ripley Snells. And then you have these amazing shady characters like Rotgut Ferret. I mean, come on. It's this wild mix of high society, new money, and, well, guys named Rotgut. And here's the kicker, the central irony of it all. All these people, hundreds of them, the rich, the famous, you name it, they show up every single week, drink his booze, enjoy his party, and not one of them has a clue who he is. He's a total mystery, right in the middle of his own house. So Gatsby's not dumb. He knows what people are saying about it. And he decides, you know what? It's time to set the record straight. So during this car ride into the city, he turns to Nick and basically says, okay, forget the rumors. I'm going to tell you the real story, the God's truth. And what a story it is. Seriously, it sounds like it's pulled straight from some adventure novel. He claims he's the son of wealthy people, educated at Oxford, and spent his youth traveling Europe, collecting jewels, hunting big game, the whole 9 yards. But Nick notices he kind of stumbles when he says educated at Oxford. It's a little fishy. Yeah, Nick is thinking, no way. He's not buying a word of it. The whole story just sounds so fake, so rehearsed. He's about to laugh out loud, thinking it's all just another one of Gatsby's games. But then Gatsby pulls out proof. First thing he shows him is this medal. And Nick's just stunned because it feels real. It's heavy. It looks legit. All of a sudden, this isn't just a tall tale anymore. It's a physical object right there in his hand that seems to back up this crazy story. And the inscription, it's for Valor Extraordinary from Montenegro for his service in the war. It's such a specific, random detail. And that's what starts to chip away at Nick's disbelief. For the very first time, he starts to think, maybe this guy isn't completely full of it. And then, as if the medal wasn't enough, he pulls out a photograph, a photo of him at Oxford. And there he is, plain as day, with a cricket bat, looking every bit the part among a bunch of young Englishmen. The evidence is just stacking up. And that's it. Nick's skepticism just completely crumbles. The story sounded absolutely ridiculous, but you can't argue with a photograph. Suddenly, it all clicks into place. The whole unbelievable tale seems true. Gatsby is not just some phony. He's the real deal. Or is he? Just when you think you've got Gatsby figured out, the story takes a sharp left turn. At lunch, Gatsby introduces Nick to one of his business associates, a guy named Meyer Wolfsheim. And this is where we get a peek behind the curtain into the much darker source of Gatsby's money. So how do we know this Wolfsheim guy is bad news? Well, how about his cufflinks? They're made of human molars. Yeah, you heard me right. Human teeth. It's just this incredibly creepy, unsettling detail that tells you everything you need to know about the kind of man you're dealing with. And if that wasn't enough, Gatsby just casually drops this bombshell. Wolfsheim is the guy who fixed the 1919 World Series. This is huge. It's confirmation. Gatsby's money isn't from some long-dead rich family. No, it's tied up with organized crime. This is the dark, gritty truth behind his glamorous American dream. Okay, so we've got two pieces of the puzzle now, Gatsby's official story and his shady business connections. But the biggest question is still just hanging there. Why? Why all the parties, the money, the mystery? Well, later that day, Jorgen Baker finally gives Nick the real story, the missing piece. And it all comes down to a love story. Jordan explains that 5 years earlier, Gatsby was just a young soldier with no money, and he fell head over heels in love with Daisy Faye, who was, the most popular, beautiful, rich girl in town. But he had to go to war, and while he was gone, she married the incredibly wealthy Tom Buchanan. And everything, absolutely everything Gatsby has done since, is about that moment. And get this, it wasn't a clean break. The night before she married Tom, Daisy gets a letter. It had to be from Gatsby. And she gets completely drunk, tries to throw away this ridiculously expensive pearl necklace from Tom, and is just sobbing, saying she's changed her mind. Her family and bridesmaids basically had to wrestle her into the wedding. Her heart was never in it. And this is the moment the entire book clicks into place. The big reveal. Why did Gatsby buy that specific mansion? Why throw those insane parties? It was all for her. He bought that house for one reason and one reason only, so that he would be right across the bay from Daisy. So you see, the parties weren't really for the guests. They were like a giant beacon, a net he cast out into the night every weekend, just hoping that one night Daisy might wander in by chance. But she never did. And so now, after all this time and all this money, his whole epic plan comes down to asking Nick for one small favor. And the plan itself is almost shockingly simple. It's kind of sweet, actually. All he wants is for Nick to invite Daisy over for tea. That's it. And then Gatsby will just happen to pop over. The whole point is to get Daisy to his house, to let her see what he's built right there next door, all that wealth, all those parties, just to set up one casual afternoon tea. So there it is, the truth. The entire Gatsby empire was built for one single purpose, to turn back time, to erase the last 5 years and get back the one thing he lost. And that leaves us with the huge central question that drives the rest of this story. Is that even possible? Can you really ever repeat the past?